Welcome to the Sweet Life Coaching Podcast, connecting real people with expert advice to achieve a healthier lifestyle and live a more fulfilling and abundant life. Here is your host, Coach Tavia.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Sweet Life Coaching Podcast. I have an amazing special guest today. You guys know me. I always like to bring on fun guests. And today I have a friend and a colleague, Mr. Rusty Osborne. Hello, Rusty.
Hey, Tavia. How you doing?
Good. Welcome. And thank you for being here today. Let me tell you a little bit about Rusty, and we're going to dive right in here and why I'm so excited to have him on here. Not only did I met Rusty through, it was our accelerator group, right? Our mastermind accelerator group of other health and life coaches. Was it last year or the year before? I can't remember. Time's flying. 2019?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 2019. Gosh, time's flying. At any rate, so yeah, we met through that, and I became drawn to Rusty because I'll tell you about him in just a second. But I got to tell you this: my dad's name is Rusty, so he's the number one Rusty in my life. But this is the number two Rusty.
I'll take number two. That's better than nothing.
Yeah, right below my dad. My dad. That's pretty good. I don't know any other Rusties that I love and adore. So, all right. Anyway, so about Rusty. So he is at the Coach Rusty. He's the Coach Rusty. So what does he do? He helps men lose weight for good. He started his company, Find Your Total Health, to help people live their healthiest and most fulfilling lives. Yay! And is on a mission to end obesity throughout the world. After overcoming obesity himself and unhealthy habits for himself and dozens of clients, he knows firsthand what works and what doesn't work when it comes to losing weight and keeping it off. He also is the host of his own podcast, Losing Weight, and he brings the information and motivation to get healthy and stay healthy all the way through. So anyways, again, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Great. So we're going to talk a little bit. Okay, so this will be fun. So for the listeners out there, again, there's many reasons why I brought Rusty on, but one of the main reasons is he has an amazing story. You had an amazing weight loss journey story. You are a musician, and I want to take it back. I want to take it back a couple of years before we even met. And I may not even know a lot of this stuff, but you, and tell me a little bit about your journey leading up to being a health coach. What drove you to that and why? Tell me a little bit about that. Take me back.
Yeah, definitely. So depends how far back we want to go.
Okay.
I was born in Winfield, Illinois. So fast forward a few years.
I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And actually where I'm at right now is about 7 minutes from the hospital I was born in, which is
no way
wild. So since we're traveling all the time now, it's really interesting to be in this area. But throughout my life, the only thing that I was really best at compared to other people was eating. So I ate so much. My brother would beat me at video games. I'd say, but I can eat more than you. Right. So that was one of the things that kept me going forward into eating more, drinking more, not treating myself well. And so I ended up obese. I was just plain fat and sad and trying to be happy, but it doesn't really work when you don't like yourself. So it was tough. And so I was Would you say you were obese like in your childhood? Like that started in your childhood or teens or 20s, 30? What? I believe I was obese in my childhood as well. I don't remember exactly what I weighed, but I remember aiming. I was trying to be the heaviest kid that I knew.
No way.
Literally. I got so upset when I met someone who said he weighed more than me. I said, no, are you kidding me? So mad. Because that was the only thing I had left.
Gotcha. That was like your identity.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And
interesting.
So, fat kid, got skinny in high school for a little bit. After high school, I'm eating too much still, drinking too much. I hit a few rock bottoms throughout my days. And at one point, I was a full-time musician playing 7-8 nights a week, essentially, and teaching guitar lessons as well. And just not being okay with the way that I felt and looked. And so I needed to do something. So I just started trying everything. Yeah. And nothing was working. I mean, I was running marathons, ultra marathons. I had a personal trainer. I was eating what the experts said you should eat. And I lost like 20 pounds or so.
Okay.
Which isn't enough if you're obese. Doesn't matter what level of obese. 20 pounds is not enough.
No.
And so just went on a journey. I kept asking for help, doing endless hours of research, and eventually figured out what worked for my body.
Okay.
And it turns out we're all different.
Yeah.
Right. And so once I figured out what foods worked for me, which lifestyle choices worked for me and my body, then I'm like melted off 85 pounds of fat. I lost 85 pounds total.
Wow. A fat. Wow. Amazing.
I mean,
yeah. Wow.
I think it was fat because I didn't look any less muscular, right? But I definitely just melted that off, and still eating a ton of food too. It was just quality. It was just quality.
Yeah.
So
isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's wild. Once you figure out what works for your body, life gets so much easier. Your body wants to balance itself. Your body wants to heal itself.
Yeah.
So
food
long
is
as
healing.
you give it the right things.
Yeah. Food is healing. That's our medicine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So you were obese as a kid. You had this in your mentally, that was your identity, was to be the fat kid. And here you are. And let's fast forward a little bit to like going in, you're a musician, you're on the road a lot. That's a lot of stress. You just, and I know, being on the road, you eat whatever you can, just to survive and just to get up on that stage. Right. And play your heart out. So here you are. So how did health coaching and how was the transition from that, you changing your life into starting to say, I need to change other lives? Like, tell me about that.
Right. It was really after I figured out, okay, I can do this. I lost all this weight. I look good every single day. People are coming up to me, man, you look amazing. How'd you do it? Man, you look amazing. How'd you do it?
Yeah.
And I would tell them what I did. And they would say, I could never do that. I could never do that.
Yeah.
And I would be playing these shows. And at the end of the night, drunk people come up to me. And I love these people. They're supporters, fans that we had. And I love them. At the end of the night, they're drunk and I'm not, because I wasn't drinking at the time.
Right.
And so they don't remember this conversation. They'd come up and say, man, I want to do what you did, but I could never quit drinking. I've got a problem. What do I do? And they don't remember this conversation, and they tell me this multiple times.
Yeah. Right.
And so that's when it was like, guys, if I could do this, being the one on stage, playing this much, plus teaching this much, plus doing all these other things, if I could do this, why the hell can't you?
Yeah.
You're just saying you can't. And I can tell you exactly what I did. And I did tell them, but the information isn't what makes the change.
No. Right.
So I got just addicted to, how can I get people to make the change?
Yeah.
Not even me get them to, how could I help them make the change they want to make?
Right. Gotcha. Okay. Oh yeah. So one of the things that you were just talking about, and this is, I think, an important point, is you're talking about alcohol and how, when you're on the road and you're a musician, alcohol is there everywhere. Right. I mean, I have some friends that are musicians and I know, and that's part of the gig is, go have a beer before you get on stage, go have a couple shots before you get on stage. So was that a change for you too, where you had to eliminate alcohol to get better too? Or was that not really a problem for you?
Oh, it was a problem.
It was a problem. Okay. It was a big problem too. Okay. So there's two big aspects here then for you, the alcohol and the eating. This is a big deal. This is a really big change that you went through. So, okay. So now we're going through this process. You went through your own experience and you had this mindset shift, right? I talk about mindset shifts all the time, guys. You know that when I talk about it. And so we had this mindset shift and here we go. And your wife, Nikki, we love Nikki. Was she joining the fun with you and in eating and drinking and stuff too? Was she on board with this change? Tell me about that too, because there's a lot of people out there that have spouses that are like, well, I want to make the change, but my wife or husband or significant other, they're not going to be with me. That's an important thing too, I wanted to mention. So tell me about that. Yeah.
It's really a huge, massive thing. We see that with our clients all the time. The guys will come to us like, yes, I'm ready to change. And my wife says she's ready to change. And then she suggests that we go to Popeyes for dinner.
Right.
And like, oh, yep, I get it. And Nikki and I were there too. I wanted to change before she really wanted to.
Okay.
And even then, I mean, think of all the times you wanted to change and you kind of start to change, but then you fall off.
Yeah.
Right. I was like 2 steps ahead of her on that, where I had fallen off more times than she had. So she hadn't hit that level of rock bottom that I had hit at that time. So I had a personal trainer. I'm running marathons, ultra marathons, doing whatever it takes. And then one day she finally was like, let's try this diet thing. Let's see what nutrition's all about. And I said, sure. It's the only thing that I haven't done other than, like I've did all the other things I heard you could do. Yeah. So we decided to clean up nutrition. We did that together. Yeah. And that is one of the most supremely helpful things in the whole wide world. She still cooks all this amazing food every day. I couldn't do this without her. I'm sure I could at some level, but I don't want to. She has made life possible. Yeah. Right. Wait. So hold on. So I gotta point this out, because you just talked about eating amazing food and food. And then in the reverse, you're like, I used to eat a lot, all this stuff, and I would just eat. So wait a second. We gotta clear some air here, because people are going to get confused here. So you're telling me you eat lots of food, you eat great food, and you're losing weight. So I want to point that out to people, because a lot of times people, I'm not eating anything. I don't need to eat anything, or they don't eat anything. And they're like, I'm not losing weight. I want you to talk about that for a minute, because that's an important thing. And this is one thing that is super important. People need to eat. So tell me the difference. Tell me the difference of why. Is it food? Is it the portions? Tell me a little bit more about that to the listeners. Absolutely. I'm very passionate about this very point, because I was tracking calories. I was counting calories. I was eating exactly what the book said to do, what every expert in the exercise forum said to do. And I was still freaking fat. Okay. Yeah. Then we switched to specifically real food. I'll tell you exactly what we ate. 3 things: meats, vegetables, good quality fat. Okay. And I kept tracking my calories for a little bit, but without trying to bring them down. I wasn't going for a deficit. I was just curious how much I was eating. I was easily at 4,000 or 5,000 calories a day melting fat. Wow. Easily. Imagine that. I still ate a ton. I still do eat a lot. I love eating a ton. Yeah. It's just fun for me. And the deal is, when we combat inflammation, when we get the toxic junk out of our lives, whether it's food or people, really start to heal the body. We start to heal ourselves on such a different level. Right. And so counting calories, just exercise more and eat less, is garbage. It is absolute garbage. Yeah. So if you're looking to finally lose like the last 1.5 pounds to see your abs, then we can have that conversation. But until then, if you are fat, quit counting calories. I'm very, very passionate about that, because I think it just ruins you. You're not fueled well, right? And if you're, so think about this. Your brain takes up 20% of your caloric expenditure, right? Right. Your brain needs 20% of your body's fuel. If you're not eating enough, then your brain doesn't have enough fuel. Willpower is a finite resource based on how much brain fuel you have. So suddenly you get to the end of a day, you've been sticking under your calorie limit. You're only at 1,400 calories. Great job. And then a cookie comes across your face and it's in your mouth all of a sudden. Why? Because you depleted your willpower. You depleted your brain fuel. Right. And I tell my clients all the time, do not go hungry. Overeat if you want to. I don't care. I overeat all the time with quality food, and I make amazing decisions as a result. Right. And I want to mention one of another coach. I don't even know if Angela Derrick. I don't know if you know her or not, but Angela Derrick. Yeah. She does fitness. She does macros and stuff like that. Anyways, I remember her telling me she told one of her clients, she was under her caloric intake, and she's like, go open up a Pepsi. Like, I don't care. Get the calories in you. Like it was, and I kid you not, the gal drank Pepsi. Now I'm not advising drinking pop or whatever. That's something long-term, right? But to get her calories in, she started losing weight just to show her the point that you needed to get the calories in. And it wasn't so much the nutrition, right? From the Pepsi, we know that, but it was the point she was trying to make. Right. And I see this and I hear this so much. I just heard from a client today. We ended her program about 4 weeks ago, and I checked in with her and I said, how you doing? And she's like, not good. I'm gaining weight. And I asked her the questions, what's going on? And she's like, I'm not eating enough. Or she said, no, I'm not eating
a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, ding, ding, ding. And I'm like, how's your stress? What are you doing? And she's like, I'm walking, I'm exercising. I'm like, where's your stress level? You're probably not eating enough. I knew it. I instantly knew it. So we're getting back on the phone anyways, long story short. So, yeah. So you probably see this too with your clients, right? All the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
so
it's so important to realize that like there's, and being able to stick to any plan is critical.
Yeah. Right.
And
just have a plan.
Having a plan is step one, right?
Right.
You need
right.
something to do.
Yeah.
And if your plan is potentially flawed, like you're like counting calories, how it's literally robbing your body of fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not a great plan.
Right.
And I will say, like some people can work with that.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But I'd say probably 5% of the population maybe is able to do that and stick to it.
Okay. Gotcha.
That's my educated guess.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, guys, quit killing yourselves.
Right.
It's delicious. It's good for you.
I know. Right. So I have a question for you. So what about people out there that are talking about like doing keto, like a keto diet? So you did mention fats, and fat burns fat, right? I have always believed that keto isn't a lifestyle. It's a certain diet, but it's not really a long-term lifestyle, in my opinion. I'm curious what your thoughts are on keto. I mean, you just talked about eating real food. You're not talking about keto. Did you ever do keto? Did you ever believe in that? Tell me about keto. I'm just curious your thoughts. Yeah,
absolutely. A great question. At the end of the day, the foundation here is that everybody's different. Everyone is different.
Of course.
I personally function really well if I'm keto 6 days out of the week.
Okay.
Function beautifully. If I go 14 days, I'm feeling awesome. But then day 14, I get really stressed out.
Okay.
I've tested this a bunch of times. And so I just have one day, I have like an influx of carbohydrates, and then I'm back.
Okay.
And so to me, that's like cyclic ketosis, right? We cycle out of it every once in a while.
Right.
Yeah, that works perfect for me.
Okay.
Now, we've got clients that it does not. They are supposed, like they feel amazing having plenty of carbs every day.
Oh, okay.
So if that feels great, if that's what's going to keep them moving towards their goals and their weight is still going down, their energy levels are good, their sleep is great, then hell, why not?
Right.
It has to be sustainable.
Yes.
Has to be sustainable. So for me, keto is 90% sustainable, and then I'm going to go have tacos Friday night.
Okay. Gotcha.
So that just works great for me.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Overall, as a diet, kind of like how you asked, as a diet, I think it is fantastic for starting fat loss, right?
Oh, yeah.
Really getting that metabolic boost, getting your mitochondria actually supercharged and able to use fat for fuel instead of just sugars. So I do believe that it's great. We see it regulating like hormones and circadian rhythms, and all these things work really well to an extent, right? Just like anything, no diet is perfect.
Right. I
guess except for the one that you actually stick to.
So. Exactly. That works for you. Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah. No. Okay. Awesome. That's what I wanted your input on that keto thing. So for me, like keto is great too. Because of my Lyme disease is great for inflammation, and reducing that inflammation. It's and I know a lot of Lyme patients do keto really well too. However, and I'm going to throw this out because I don't have a gallbladder, so I can't process a lot of the fats. And so keto isn't ideal for everyone, in my opinion, like for me, not all long-term, and so that's something I look for when I do my evaluation, health intake form. People, do they have a missing organ like a gallbladder, which is dumps, processes the bile that goes into the gut and stuff. So we got to look at that, that stuff. Yeah. So going back to certain diets, I think going back to your point, I think what I heard and what I want to emphasize is you got to find what works for you.
Yes.
So so client walks into your, comes to you and you work predominantly with men right now, correct?
Yeah.
Awesome. And any specific age group or just adults 18 and above?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
I've had consultations with younger and helped them get in the right path.
Have you? Okay.
And so but we've just worked historically with more men because that's who we end up resonating with. So
Gotcha. Yeah. So tell me about a good success story you've had recently.
Oh my gosh, I've got a few. So
yeah.
One of my favorites is one from my client Kevin from he enrolled with us back in January of 2020.
Okay, right before the pandemic.
Yeah, right before. We obviously didn't know it was coming up. And so he's another musician. He's playing gigs. He was working a few jobs. He's got a wife and a son, and he just knows that he's not feeling good. He's depressed. He's obese. He's just not okay.
Okay.
Now, Kevin's down 90 pounds, over 90 pounds. He's feeling amazing, confident. He's showing up at that next level, taking his kids to the park and running around with them instead of getting winded after, 5 steps. And he's just a next level of confidence. And I only worked with him for 12 weeks.
What? 12 weeks. 12 weeks.
Right.
Okay. So, okay. He's down 90 pounds. Whoa.
Yeah. See, I've
now,
got
obviously
a
not 90
problem here.
Yeah.
The business model problem is we get such amazing results in 12 weeks that then they're gone, that was the point. How can we lose weight for good? What do you need to do now that'll fix the rest of it?
Yeah.
Right? How can we sustain this? So he's been just at it. He keeps the habits. He keeps the things going. He keeps eating great food. Doesn't mean that he doesn't slip up occasionally or fall off the wagon for a week or two. But once you've made such a change like that, falling off the wagon is like 3 days of tacos and chocolate instead of 2 weeks worth, right? So it gets better and better every time. And so he's down over 90 pounds. That's awesome. Mental clarity, energy, showing up, making more money, like all the things that happen when you live a better life.
Right. Oh, so amazing.
I just check in with him once in a while, like, man, I want to keep working with you, but he's doing all the things. He's already got it in place. And so that one is just so much fun. Another one, John, we actually worked with him for a whole year because we have an option after the 12 weeks. If you just want to continue the support, if you want to continue being part of the community more intimately, then let's keep going. And he is actually down over 100 pounds over the last 3 years.
Wow.
So amazing. Over the last year is 47 pounds. And same thing. He really had it in place within that first 12 weeks, just crushing it, losing weight. The last 4 months of being on calls, he's just like, I don't know, this is working. I just kind of want to be here. And so it's like, cool, we did our job. Thanks, John. He's an amazing addition to the community. He was
awesome.
Out helping the other guys out in our community. So, man, and it just, these guys keep doing it. And I'll tell you what the common thread is for all the
I was just going to ask you that. What is it?
It's 2 things. One, well, I guess honestly, it's probably one major thing.
Okay.
They decided to change.
Yeah.
They have that mindset shift.
Yep.
Right.
They wanted it.
Yeah, they wanted it, first of all. They kept wanting it because they kept their why front of mind. Like they knew, if I don't stick to this, then we'll fill in the blank. Then I'll get diabetes. Then I'll end up with heart disease like my dad. Then I'll die early, and then my kid's going to be alone.
Right. Yeah. What would you say is number 2 thing?
Having a great plan, sticking to it. Right. But but sticking to it is the mindset piece.
Yes.
So it's like point number 1 and point number 1.5, right? It's you have to have that mindset shift. Like the blueprint, the plan, we've got it. It's totally doable, and you get to eat a ton of food while doing it, right? Which is so much fun. But you gotta keep the mindset work really front of mind. Without a strong why, it's really hard to stick to anything.
So you have clients that are shedding massive weight.
Yeah.
They're not counting calories. They're just eating. They're just eating. But the key component here is they made a choice and they want it and they're sticking to it and they're devoted to themselves and making change. And that's the key to it. Yes. Honestly. Yeah. There's no magic secret. There's no magic pill out there. Come on. And there's no magic diet,
Right.
There really isn't. So amazing. So let's wrap this up. So this is the fun part of the show at the end is let's get a little personal fun here. So you guys, so Rusty and his wife, Nikki, I got to tell you about their story. So they packed up from California, right? You were in California.
Yep.
And it was last year during the pandemic. They hightailed it out of there and Southern California and packed up their van basically. And you have a dog too, right?
No, we don't. Well, I mean,
Oh,
my parents have a dog that we go and visit. So
oh, okay. I thought you had a dog too. Anyway,
she
so
ends up on our Instagram.
you and your wife packed up your van and you have been living on the road and actually still doing your business. And this is what I love about you. You're still doing the business, still helping people all over the United States, still creating an income for you and your wife to live off of. You're basically living in what, like Airbnbs or rental houses or whatever you have you too from time to time. But you're going to be camping soon. That's amazing. So for someone listening out there and says like, oh my gosh, he has a business. He's on the road. He's helping people. He's living the life he dreams. I want to do that. Like, I want to do that. Tell someone out there, like, how do you do that? Like, what was it a decision? And you just said, let's screw it. Let's just do it. Like, I want you to be inspirational right now. Tell someone they can do this too. You can have this too.
So you're out there. I know exactly who you are because you're listening and saying, wait, he just lives on the road with his wife and they eat a lot of food and they still have a business and they get to travel and see the world and family and blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, we do.
Amazing.
Like, hey, I mean, not going to lie, it's a lot of work. Like, it's still running a business. That doesn't get easier.
Yeah, right? Sure.
But you're out there and I hear you because I hear it every time we tell this story that, oh, I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could do that. Guess what? I've heard that every time I make a change. Remember the origin story we went through for a minute of I lost 85 pounds. People say, oh, I wish I could do that. It's a choice. It's a choice. You can do this. You can do this. You just have to throw your excuses out the window and say, screw it. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's exactly.
It. And obviously plan, get contingencies in place. Ask me for tips if you want to try it out. But you don't need to stay in one place, especially if you're working remotely.
Yeah.
If you're not, you could get a remote job.
Right.
If you want something, you can have it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But you
Sure. Did you guys plan this out or was it kind of a whim? Were you just like, let's just do it? Or did you plan? Do you be honest? Like, you guys?
Totally.
Yeah.
So the way that it worked is years ago, I was on a backpacking trip and decided that if Nikki ever leaves me, I'm just going to go homeless. I'm going to go backpacking for the rest of my life. So I've wanted to. And then we were, then I said, okay, well, if Nikki ever doesn't have a job and the band that I'm in fires me, then no, let's move somewhere. Let's go somewhere. Mm-hmm. So pandemic hits, her job shuts down. I don't have any gigs. We have this business. Suddenly, like the only thing tying us here is our month-to-month apartment.
Yeah.
And like our friends, obviously we love them and we want to see them. At the same time, we already weren't seeing them. It was a pandemic. We weren't seeing anybody. So we gave we put in our 30 days notice pretty soon after that. And I think, there was some planning involved, but we went for it as quick as we could because hell, why wait?
Yeah.
If you want to lose weight, same thing. Decide to do it and then figure out how.
Exactly. And just, I think the thing is just to make a decision, make a decision and then put that foot forward. Right. And do it, just do it. Right. There's no, what's the worst going to happen? Someone's going to say no, or we have a contingency. I like how you said, have a contingency plan or maybe a backup plan, so you can always go back to the old, right? There's always new ahead. You can always go back to old. I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah. And just so everybody else knows too, on any journey, on any adventure, anything like this, you're gonna screw it up. Yeah. So just be ready for that. Like this hasn't been perfect.
No.
We got stuck in snowstorms in Texas with no water. That was a mess. All right.
Yeah.
Then our van broke down. That was a mess. Cool. Right. Things are going to happen. If you're losing weight, you're going to hit a plateau. Cool. Right. Yeah. Things happen. Right. Don't let that hold you back from just getting started. Just do it. Make a decision and make things happen.
I love it. Yeah. Great words. Great words of wisdom. So awesome. Well, we will end here on that note because that was great words of wisdom. And Rusty, this has been so much fun. I'm sure we'll have more to discuss down the road. So where can people find you if they are, especially, I don't work with men a lot on wait lists, so I'm sending them all to you. So where can people find you?
Absolutely. And first off, thank you so much, Tavia, for having me on. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
So you can find my podcast. It's called Losing Weight. Keeping it straight and to the point there.
Yeah.
So, losing weight at the Coach Rusty on Instagram.
Okay.
I'm
awesome.
on Facebook, whatever, rustyosborne.com. But check out the podcast. Find us on Instagram. Please reach out if you need any help at all. If you want to talk about living out of a van, if you want to talk about help, just reach out. Tavia and I are here to help you.
Yeah,
You've got to ask.
Yeah. First step, right? Just asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for saying that. Yeah. All right. And again, thank you for being here, and reach out to Rusty if you guys have any questions. He is amazing, and check out his podcast. Check out him on IG. He is just a joy, and I really enjoy just watching who he brings on too. And I learn a lot from him as well. So again, thank you. Have an amazing night, and I will catch you on the next podcast.
Sounds great. Thanks, Tavia.
Okay. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Sweet Life Coaching Podcast. To learn more about the topics mentioned on today's show, please visit sweetcoachtavia.com.